Dear learners, welcome to video 7. I'm Jade, your tutor for this lesson. In video 6, the theory of consumer behavior explains the behavior of rational consumers who make decisions based on consideration of cost and benefit. In this video, we will look at the rationale that underlies the behavior of producers that influence the theory of supply. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain the concept of production, plant, firm, and industry. Differentiate between the concept of long run and short run in production. Apply the concept of diminishing marginal returns. Draw the curves of short run costs. Explain the curves of short run cost. Production is very important in an economy. In fact, many economists consider the success in production activities as an indication of progress of a country. Production is important due to its role in changing inputs into valuable materials. The value enhancement will result in higher consumption satisfaction. In connection with that, we can define production as an activity or process of combination inputs to transform into outputs that produce utility at present time or in the future. The three prime movers in the production process are industry, plant, and firm. What is meant by industry, plant, and firms? We will look at the following explanations. A firm is an organization that buys resources from the household or other firms to be used in the production of goods or services that will be sold to consumers. Plant is a unit of production, while the firm is a unit of ownership and control. Plants owned by a large firm may consist of a number of factories with high-tech production equipment in a few areas or countries. Whereas, an industry consists of all firms that are competing in one market. Examples of industries are such as a fast food industry, clothing industry, and automobile industry. The interaction of firms within an industry determines the form of market structure that gives different implications towards the level of output and price. Input are resources used in production process, included raw materials, labor, area of production, machines, and intermediate goods purchased from other firms. Output is a good or service that is produced from the production process. Variable inputs are inputs that can be added or reduced within a short period of time. It will change according to the change in output. Its quantity is influenced by the change in output. Fixed input are inputs that cannot be added or reduced within a short period of time. What is the relationship between inputs and period of production? Fixed input and variable input are closely related to the concept of production period. Short run in production is a period where at least one of the input is fixed, and a firm cannot enter or leave the industry. Long run is a period of production where all inputs are variable, and firms can increase or reduce their production capacity, and also enter or leave the industry. Production period is not an absolute time concept, such as days, weeks, months, or years. It is a relative concept and refer to the rate of changing fixed input into variable input. Law of diminishing marginal returns states that if variable input is added into a production process that use at least one fixed input, increment in total output may increase at an increasing rate initially, but the rate of increase will decline after one level of input. This law is very rational and can be used in various fields. In the agricultural field, for example, land is a fixed input. When the first laborer is hired to tap rubble, he might not be able to tap all trees available in one day. When the second laborer is added, yield will increase. But if more tappers are added continuously, it will reach a stage where yield increases, but at a lower rate compared to the initial rate of increase. Sooner or later, the land will become congested of rubber tappers until some of them will not have the chance to tap. Now, we will look at production level. We can use the relationship between the curves of average productivity of labor, APL, with marginal productivity of labor, MPL, to define the three levels of production in the short run, as illustrated in the figure. Level 1 begins with the usage of the first label until the maximum point of APL. At this level, both the average product and marginal product are positive. Since the marginal product exceeds average product decreases. Level 1 is an irrational production level because AP can always be increased by adding labor. Increased return to fixed input also occurs at this level. Therefore, rational producers will not operate at this level. Level 2 is the area between maximum point of APL and the point where MPL is 0. Both MP and AP are still positive, but MP is less than AP. Thus, AP decreases. Rational producers will operate at this level because the marginal product of fixed input and variable input is positive. Level 3 covers the area of negative MPL and total product decrease. This means that additional of variable input will further decrease the total output. Rational producers will not operate at this level. Let's recall about short-run production, which we learned earlier. We know that short-run production involves the use of fixed input and variable inputs. The cost that is related to fixed input is referred to as fixed costs, while cost related to variable inputs is the variable cost. Now, let us look at the definition of fixed costs and variable costs. When we only use two types of inputs in the short run, that is, capital as fixed input and labor as a variable input, rental for capital is a fixed cost and payment of which for labor is a variable cost. To illustrate the relationship, let's look at the figure. Observe that the total fixed cost curve is horizontal because fixed cost does not change along with the change in output. Meanwhile, the total variable cost curve increases at an increasing rate due to the law of diminishing returns in short run. The total cost curve is the vertical sum of fixed costs and variable costs. Therefore, the distance between the total cost curve and the total variable cost curve represents the total fixed costs. Thank you. That's the end. We shall now be able to apply the concept of diminishing marginal returns as well as draw and explain the curves of short-run costs. Hope you enjoy in this video. See you in the next one.